At the head of Hempstead Harbor, where tidal waters once carried schooners loaded with grain and lumber, stands one of Long Island's oldest surviving industrial buildings. The Roslyn Grist Mill was built between 1715 and 1741, a rare Dutch frame water mill constructed not for farming, but for industry. For more than 150 years, it transformed grain into flour and anchored the economy of a growing harbor community. Its heavy timber frame, white oak, and hand-joined, still carries the marks of 18th century craftsmanship. The structure reflects building traditions from Holland and adapted to a new world. On April 24 of 1790, President George Washington visited Hendrik Onderdonk, whose home stood beside the mill. Washington recorded that visit in his diary.
Left Mr. Young before 6 o'clock and passing Mosquito Cove, breakfasted at a Mr. Onderdonk at the head of a little bay where we were kindly received and well entertained.
A quiet acknowledgement that the small harbor mill was already part of the young nation's story. Through the 19th century, the mill remained at the center of village life. Schooners docked beside it. Mill Dam Road curved past its wooden siding. The building rose directly from the water's edge, practical and unadorned. By 1916, the mill's industrial life had ended. The Hicks family transferred ownership to trustees who envisioned something new, a museum dedicated to local history and the industrial arts. Concrete floors were installed. The structure was altered, but it was preserved. In 1920, the Roslyn Mill Tea House opened its doors. For 54 years, visitors dined above the water wheel, gathering in timber-framed rooms that once echoed with the turning of stones. The mill adapted again, no longer grinding grain, but preserving memory. In 1976, ownership transferred to Nassau County. Restoration plans were discussed, studies were written, but for decades, the building remained vulnerable. By 2015, it was listed as one of Long Island's industrial heritage sites at risk. Weathered siding, failing foundation, structural instability, time had taken its toll. Then, after 42 years of delay, restoration finally began in November of 2018. Grants were secured, specialists were engaged, timbers were tagged and stabilized. On January 23 of 2020, in one of the most dramatic preservation moments in Long Island's history, the 78-ton structure was lifted 8 feet into the air. For the first time in over a century, the mill rose above street level, revealing its compromised foundation beneath. The work was meticulous. A new foundation was constructed in 2021. Historic timber frames were restored and returned in 2022. On May 28 of 2022, the building was lowered back to street level, stable for the first time in generations. But the work did not end there. Beginning in 2023, craftsmen resumed construction, rebuilding the roof structure, installing roof shingles, exterior siding, windows and doors, and reconstructing interior floors. Future phases will reinstall the mill's husk frame and gearing mechanisms, and eventually a reconstructed water wheel, allowing visitors to understand how water once powered the industry of an entire harbor community. When fully complete,
this will become an educational center, be a resource really talking about the history of grist mills on Long Island, the history of the village of Roslyn, and the really dynamic history of the grist mill itself. So we see this as an important educational center, and it will also be a tourist attraction for Long Island.
To date, $9 million was awarded to the project to ensure that this 300-year-old structure would not disappear. But the restoration was never only about a building. It was about preserving a rare Dutch industrial survivor. It was about honoring a harbor village's economic origins. It was about protecting a place where Washington once stood. And it was about ensuring that future generations can walk inside this timber frame and understand how industry, architecture, and community shaped Long Island's past. As the nation approaches July 4, 2026, the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, there is an opportunity to reflect not only on founding principles, but on how those principles took root in communities across the country. For 2.5 centuries, those principles have shaped places, both large and small. Today, the Roslyn Grist Mill stands not as a relic, but as a restored witness, and connects the national story to the lives of real communities. 3 centuries at the harbor and still standing.